Hey there, everybody. Hey there, friends. Welcome to the Comic Kaiser Show. It's great to have you here. And like always, I have a fantastic guest with us here this afternoon or whatever you want to call it. Today, I'm interviewing a friend of mine from high school. We both graduated back in 2015. We both graduated from Lake Center Christian School. I know some people I tend to tell I'm from the Springfield area, but actually, I graduated from Lake Center. Recently, he's been engaged, so congratulations to Izzy. How do I pronounce it? Lileas. I pronounce it Kurczewski, but maybe I'm just jumping the gun on that one. And he is also the creator and owner of Sailboat Media. So got ourselves a entrepreneur here. All right, fancy schmancy. And I'd like to introduce Kyle Kurczewski. Kyle, welcome to the show. Great to have you here, man.
It's good to be here.
That's awesome. All right, so we're gonna start off with the warm up. You ready for that?
Yep.
All right, let's see what we got here. All right, first question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your own driving?
With 10 being good.
Yeah, I guess I should clarify that. Yes, 1 is bad, 10 is very good.
I'd probably say a 10.
Oh my gosh,
I
hate you.
I really like
no.
driving.
So there's nothing you can do to improve?
I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Well, at least you know stick shift. I think I once had someone say 10. I was like, well, do you know stick shift? And they're like, no. I was like, oh, how's that 10 working out for you? So at least you know, well, you still remember how to drive stick, right?
I drive it every day, yeah.
Okay, I forgot how to drive stick. I'd be like, All right. What dumb accomplishment are you most proud of?
I don't know. What would you consider dumb?
Your whole life? Whoa! I don't know. Usually, I don't know, like most eggs eaten in a day, or I don't know, something that you wouldn't necessarily get a trophy for, but he's like, hey, I did that once.
I don't know. I mean, I went 120 miles in a car once, so.
What road was that on?
I don't really remember.
Oh, was this in high school?
No,
Okay.
It was a couple summers ago.
Okay,
But
I feel like I remember you once mentioning something like that. And I was like,
I mean, I went 100 several times in high school, but this was the first time I hit 120 in a Lotus. But
I think once I went like 500 some, but it was on an airplane and I wasn't driving. So just kidding. All right. What would you say is the best single day on a calendar?
ooh, I mean, I want to say Halloween because I really like Halloween, but also August 6th because it's my birthday.
You got to decide.
It depends. Like, I'd say probably Halloween just because it's a fun holiday, but I know Christmas is like the typical answer, but
Kind of. I don't know. I'd probably say February 20th, my birthday too. So, I get that.
yeah.
Or St. Patrick's Day or something stupid. All right. Halloween. Hey.
Probably.
I respect that. Fill in the blank. The best movie ever made is
The Empire Strikes Back.
a solid choice. It's a good one. All right. What's your go-to artist or band when you can't decide on something to listen to?
I have a couple. It's probably like 4, I would say. Either The Killers, Dermot Kennedy, Ban Camino, or Laney. But, I mean, recently it's been The Killers just because they came out with a new album. So, I guess for now, just The
Is
Killers.
it a Halloween-themed album?
No.
Oh, no Killers. Anybody? Okay. It was worth a try. All right. I got a few audience question here. Got some from Hallie Cole. We went to high school with her. I think you might remember her.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a few years. But asking, cake or ice cream?
Probably cake.
What about ice cream cake?
I like ice cream cake. Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. A good safe middle. All right. Would you rather go bungee jumping or skydiving?
Probably skydiving.
Solid choice. And then, what's your favorite pun? Ooh,
I can't think of any right now.
that's not a very good pun.
I just know like an hour from now I'm going to be thinking of like 1,000 to say, but I can't think of any right now.
Boo. All right. IHOB or IHOP? I know this is a little while ago, but I need to get the truth. IHOP or IHOB?
IHOP with a P.
What do you have against IHOB?
It's not a thing.
Not anymore. I know that was like a big controversy a year ago, but I was just combing through old questions. I was like, I'm curious. Okay. What TV show or movie do you refuse to watch?
I mean, there's a few,
Okay.
but
Go ahead, list them.
some are kind of controversial, so I won't list those. But, I mean, I guess like I don't know if like Hamilton would count, but like
You never seen Hamilton before?
no, and I don't really care to. Just not my.
That's fair. It's I mean I've seen it before. It's a unique type of play. Like I'm sure there's something out there that's like it, but I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And it's also very hyped up, so I could see why I don't know if I call you a hipster, but
An
just like,
Enneagram 4.
yeah, just like. But yes, you're gonna get some hate. all three of my listeners are gonna be at your house later, like, "It's Kyle."
Or Grey's Anatomy. I'm not a huge fan.
You
of
don't
Grey-
like it?
No.
I need to see it, but
No, I've watched a couple episodes, like not even a full episode, and it just looks like trash TV. But that's my opinion.
yes, that is right. That is your opinion. What gets you fired up?
Like in a good way or a bad way?
Let's go good, then we can maybe venture into bad.
I mean, when I start talking about movies, I get super passionate and
Okay.
excited, I guess. Anything with movies or directors. I guess bad would be like major, like there's like some political issues get me really upset. I mean, a mixture of like
It's pretty normal. Yeah.
like I don't know, like abortion, something that I have a strong stance against, and I like child abuse and like sex trafficking. Those are like things that I'm really against, and it really makes me upset when I see like posts about it and stuff like that's like happening in the world, and it really gets me upset that
That's fair enough.
that's a thing that happens to other people. But
I can see why that would get someone fired up.
yeah.
Fair enough. If your childhood had a smell, what would it be?
Man,
Dog poop. Just kidding.
I'd say the smell of when you get a brand new Lego kit and you open it up and there's like that plastic smell, and I don't know how many people ever bought brand new Legos and like remember that smell, but that would probably be my childhood because
It sounded there like Legos. Just kidding. Better than snorting coke, I guess.
yeah,
No.
I really liked Legos growing up. So
what was your favorite Lego set, or just thing to build? I don't know.
the Millennium Falcon, that was the first Lego kit that I ever bought with my own money, and I
Oh.
worked an entire summer to earn a small $100. And I thought at the time that was like such an insane number, but now it's just like I spent $100 in one store, and I should feel bad, but I don't.
I mean, how old were you at the time? Like 4?
I would have been in 4th grade, maybe.
How old is a 4th grader again?
About
Like
10 or so.
10, yeah.
But that was like probably one of my like childhood big accomplishments was buying that kit.
Sure.
And like, so it was probably my like still my favorite because it took me a long time to earn it, and I still have it to this day.
Yeah.
So
Is it in this room right now? We got a lot of...
no.
Oh, okay. I say for those who are watching the visual version of this, I'm sure you see all this going on here. So we got a lot of movies in here. So, you know, Kyle likes to collect movies. So
I
that's-
do.
yeah. All right, so I got 2 more questions for the warm-up, then we'll wrap this up. So, did OJ do it?
Honestly, I don't know a lot about that case because I just never looked into it. It was slightly before my time.
Just a tad bit before all of ours, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm just going to say yes just to be safe.
Just to be safe. Just a safe answer, like, oh, we did it. I swear. Where's your proof? I don't know. I just know we did it. Fair enough. At least you're honest about it. I haven't looked. Apparently, there's a very good documentary on it. I haven't watched it. I keep telling myself I will.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
All right. Final question of the warm-up. What is the best compliment you've ever received?
Ooh. I guess that I love well is probably something that I've heard from a few people now. This like that I love other people well. So that's probably the best thing I've ever heard from.
How does one love well?
I guess just loving intentionally and just like paying attention to their like their current situation, listening to them, letting them talk out what they need to talk out, giving them feedback, and I've heard that I guess from a few people now, which is I guess really nice to hear. But
all right, sounds good to me. Got a lover over here. All right, well, thank you all for listening so far. We're going to take a brief commercial break. Congratulations, Kyle. You survived the warm-up, so...
Thanks.
There you go. Great as life. First accomplishment, survived the warm-up. Second, Millennium Falcon. So there you go. All right, we'll be back in a brief moment after a brief mention for a sponsor, and we'll hear more about Kyle Kurczewski.
Richard Head here with another amazing product. With all this coronavirus that's infecting our country, we've discovered a cure, COVID-X. With our patented blend of herbs, spices, and dish detergent, it's guaranteed to cure not only coronavirus, but COVID-19 as well. Watch as COVID-X cures my own personal case of COVID-19. Cough, cough. Never felt better. But wait, there's more. Order within the next 90 minutes, and you get a free case of Covich absolutely free.
Warning, side effects may include but are not limited to vomiting, increased sickness, dying, and worst of all, everyone knowing you're an idiot for drinking toilet bowl cleaner. COVID-X is not for everyone, or really anyone when you think about it. Call your doctor if you are actually considering taking this product, and when we say doctor, we mean psychiatrist. Don't take COVID-X if you actually have coronavirus, COVID-19, or any other disease. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's great to have you here. It's great to have Kyle here as well. We've been having I'd say, a pretty decent conversation so far. Just got through the warm-up, and now we're going to kind of talk more in depth on things. I kind of want to start off with this question, kind of set the tone. What movie title best describes your life?
Ooh. Wow, I don't know.
Punch you right in the gut with that one. Figure how could we not talk about movies? So,
I can think of like movies that kind of describe my life.
All right, let's start stringing them together. Maybe we can come up with a title from that. So what's a few?
I mean, I would like to think movies kind of like, I don't know, I just keep thinking my favorite movies, which is like Drive or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or Comet, or 500 Days of Summer. But those are all like sad, mostly besides Drive. Those are all sad romantic movies if no one's ever seen those. But I don't know.
Empire Strikes Back.
I mean, that's my first favorite, but like I don't really feel like that describes my life. Just like
I mean, you never know. I guess, well, I was about to say a joke about how, like, your dad comes in as Darth Vader, but if anything, your dad would come in and be Jigsaw and be like, oh, my God. Because for those who have never met Jim Kurczewski before, he kind of looks a little like Jigsaw, not going to lie.
Yeah.
I remember we watched Saw. That was the first time I'd seen it, looked at your dad and was like, and then I think later you were at dinner, and you're just, like, sitting there, like, oh, my God.
All
right, well, what about what movie title worst describes your life then? I don't know. It's like totally not it at all.
I don't know.
Oh man.
Like this is the problem with watching so many movies. It's like you just have so much like titles and stuff rattle around your brain, but you don't really know what to.
That's the thing.
I mean, I could go with my least favorite movie, which is movie 43.
Describe
know.
movie 43 for our audience and me too.
Oh gosh, it's it's a pile of garbage that a director pretty much conned a bunch of famous people to be in because he did one small little sketch with I forget what actor because he owed him a favor. And from there, he took that sketch and he told another famous actor, being like, "Hey, you want to be a part of this little like sketch comedy thing? This person's already in it." And just he did that over and over and over until he had a feature film. And it's just a bunch of random sketches, not connected at all, just thrown into a movie. And it's just not funny at all. It's painful to watch, just all these like really good actors being in this just awful trash fire of a movie. But I'd say that's probably my least favorite movie, just because it's not even fun to watch. It's just boring and just sad.
Who is the guy that directed that again?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Not even worth remembering his name.
It's if it turns out it was like he's a famous director. What's the most famous director we can think of right now?
I mean, Stanley Kubrick, or he's my favorite,
Mm.
or Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, or Christopher Nolan. But
One of those guys.
yeah,
All right, I got a guest question here. This one comes from my sister, Morgan Kaiser. She's asking, what is your favorite movie making experience and why?
ooh,
We're talking about making movies here. Obviously, movie 43 is your least favorite. What's better about this experience?
of like my personal experience or experience watching.
Let's do personal.
Okay, I'd say probably when I was making the movie Indiana Jones this last summer.
Okay.
For the people who are
Indiana Jewels. So it's got
Jewels.
Jewel Crew.
yes.
Ooh.
I worked out at a summer camp this last summer, and I put together a short film alongside with our media team, and it was extremely stressful because you're trying to film something and also do your job, what you're there to do, which is taking pictures and video of kids at camp. But it was also just really stressful to get the act or the media team together to film something in the very small amount of time that we did have. But I basically made it into 3 parts. First part was easier to film because it was during training. Second part was extremely hard to do because I had about a week to do it, and that week we were all very busy, and I don't think I slept I probably slept maybe a collective 10 hours, 20 hours maybe throughout the entire week. And the third part was a lot of fun. It was much shorter, but definitely the second part was the most stressful.
What is the describe for our audience? What is the premise of Indiana Jones? I mean, obviously, I'm getting some Harrison Ford vibes over here, but what's going on here?
So basically, at the camp I was working for, there was 5 things, or was it 5 or 6? 5 or 6 things that they think that every single camper should experience during 1 week of camp. And one of it, for example, one's fun, one's love, one is what is it? I can't even remember. Work is one, and there's a couple other ones, but and I wanted to take that idea of these things that each camper should feel and or experience, and basically it was just a treasure hunt to find each one of these things. And so I had my character of Joel. He went on this quest to basically go along and find each one of these, and each time he found one, he picked up a member of our media team And so there was like with the fun one, like for an example, he would walk up to the rock wall and he climbed up, and one of the media team members was standing up there, and he had a clue for the next one.
It's
So
fun to get up there. And what about love? Was that one like in the I almost said dorms, the campers place? Is like, whoa.
so that one was in our chapel.
Oh, I guess I should have gone with the Jesus answer. All right.
And it's that was the last one because we think that's the most important thing that each camper should walk out with is feeling loved at camp. Because I feel like that's not nearly expressed enough in today's society for kids. And but we so the last one, it was in the chapel, and I made it this big dramatic, scene with like fancy lights and slow motion, and eventually we all as a media team kind of gather around this cutout word out of metal, and it says just in the words love. And we're like, we need to go capture this, and that is in turn like kind of being like, as a media team, we're going to go capture love for the summer. But
what is love? I don't say "Baby Don't Hurt Me" or whatever the one song, or 1 Corinthians 13.
I think it's just feeling like you belong somewhere, feeling like people around you care, and just feeling in a very like safe. I'd say safe is a big one, and I don't know, it's hard to describe like what exactly it is, but for
very hard.
Like for a camper, I'd say feeling at a safe environment with people who genuinely care about them and care about their futures, and I'd say that's probably a big one.
It's more of the atmosphere of love rather than like the act between, or not act, but like the expression between two individuals, but more of like the environment you create.
For campers,
yeah,
I'd
in the
say
context of that.
Yes, but also like I think it was also important for counselors and staff members to, just really love kids, and like really just be putting kids before themselves, like always thinking, like, well, how can I make this camper have a better experience, and stuff like that. So it's a mixture of atmosphere and like actions towards making that atmosphere a possibility.
How does the guy with the camera, besides making videos and all that, how does he contribute to that atmosphere?
So my job was, it was a little tough at times because you're not necessarily like in the trenches with a counselor, like they're alongside those kids the entire week, and at the end of the week they get to pray with them, they get to have a one-on-one conversation with them, and as a media person, you don't get to see all that all the time. You don't get to sit in on those conversations after dinner or whatever when it's quiet time, and you don't really get to experience all that. So it's like it is kind of rough because you don't get to see all that. So I always took my job is it's going to want to feel that the I don't even know how to word it. Basically, it's wanting to capture it and in the hopes that that will inspire another child to come out to camp, or can like encourage campers when in the middle of the year when they're kind of feeling down, they can like look back on the pictures and videos and remember what they learned there, and and I always took it as if because as a media person, you're working long days. There's times when I'd be waking up at 7 and going to bed at 2 in the morning, but but it never really bothered me because I was always thinking, if by me working hard to capture summer, if that can convince one kid in the entire summer, for next summer to come to camp, and if that's the first time that they can hear about Jesus, then it's all worth it, because it's 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 just a few weeks that I'll put up with no sleep and but
Sure.
so that's how I view my job there. But
Is that a bit of the inspiration behind Sailboat Media then?
in a way, yes. I guess this will be a shameless plug to
Yeah,
Media.
feel free. Yeah, this I guess is my segue. Kind of explain to our audience, like some people who are watching, listening to this already know about Sailboat Media, but you might get a few people who are like, I have no idea what this bruh's talking about. What's this Sailboat Media? So, shameless plug it all the way, please.
So Sailboat Media is a company that is dedicated to capturing authentic moments of if that's between a bride or a groom, seniors pictures, family pictures. There's going to be video content in there, with whether that's a wedding or anything like that, of this like plays, conferences, anything like that. We, and when I say we, I mean me and my fiance. We're both working for Sailboat Media, as a company that we created, we just want to capture authentic moments, and not just those moments that everybody sees, but we want to see those little moments that might not always get photographed, or but we want people to remember a lot of important things to their lives. So.
How does a moment be authenticated, whatever word, like capturing an authentic moment, not just a specific, what's a unique, authentic moment? Like what makes a picture from Sailboat Media more authentic? Or I'm just trying to so what makes it more authentic?
So I think a big one is we see a lot today in photography of just, everyone get together and smile and we'll take your picture. And it's very posed, very staged. And at Sailboat Media, we kind of work on, either that's like, giving them little prompts. If it's like a engagement picture or wedding picture, we like tell them just to, get close and like whisper your favorite memory with the other person. And like usually those smiles that we get like out of that is much more real than just like smile for the camera, because they're actually reacting to something that's has an emotional connection to it, and it's not just a staged picture. So we try to do that, so whether that's just giving them prompts or actually like telling them jokes. Like we had a family shoot a couple weeks ago that we told them jokes, or Izzy behind me was flossing and making the girl like laugh.
Flossing. Okay.
So like really anything to get like a genuine laugh out of them, and not just hey, smile quickly, like and we do also want to emphasize on getting to know the couple,
sure,
or the family or the senior beforehand, and not just showing up the day of and being like, okay, we're here to take a picture. We want to get to know them, get to know their story, and kind of just really cater to what they need, and like who they are as a person, and not just the outside, like I guess shell of the person. But
it's an experience, not just a photo. So
yeah.
Getting one of those like behind the faces kind of deals. So so I'm curious, is Sailboat Media, is it an LLC, a sole proprietorship, a partnership, corporation? Like, what? I don't know.
So as of now, it's just a, like, I guess it's really nothing right now.
Okay.
But in the near future, I'd like to turn it into an LLC.
That's the way to go, man.
But there's a lot of paperwork still involved,
Yes.
and there's still like just a lot of work to do with that. But we are still a fairly new company, so we're still trying to figure all that stuff out. But
Sure.
still working probably towards an LLC.
Fair enough. Not gonna go corporation and can buy some stock and buy 5 shares of Sailboat. Actually, it brings me to a guest question, another one from Morgan as well. She's asking, can you share the story behind Sailboat Media? I know I kind of asked a bit about it, but I guess why specifically that brand, if you will?
So originally the company was going to be called Red Balloon Media or Red Balloon Productions.
Okay.
Because I did some research, and it does seem that if you have a physical object within like the title of your name, I mean, at least with me, it seems like you remember it more than just say like, I don't know, like, trying to think of an example. I mean, the one off the top of my head is Red Letter Media, which is a YouTube channel, and they're actually pretty popular. But you can also kind of picture that in your head.
Because it's a little photography business, you want to at least picture like something alongside of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I always go back to there's a company called Red Bicycle Media, and as soon as you hear their name, you think of a red bicycle,
motorcycle, think of a truck. Okay.
And so when I was originally coming up with Red Balloon Media, which is very similar, but I liked the thought of a red balloon when I would say the name.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I thought about it, it was actually Izzy who came up with, she asked me like, well, should you have something that has more meaning to you? And so, I mean, a long story short, boats have a inside joke kind of thing with me and Izzy.
Okay.
And it was a camp thing, and long story, but
and that would be the time to share, I guess.
Basically, she wrote me a letter before we were dating, and she's like, hey, there's a surprise for you underneath the mats to the media room. And I was like, oh, is it a boat? Just being stupid. And she's like, what?
Right.
No. And so
what if it was though?
So I wrote her a letter back, and I made a origami boat, and I put the letter in the boat, and I gave it to her. And so since then, it's just been a constant joke. But so boats have always been kind of like an inside joke with me and Izzy, and so we were in a room one day, and I was like trying to come up with titles for a business, and we looked at the picture that I gave her like for Christmas, which has like all of our inside jokes and stuff, and there's a boat, and I'm like, and I think it was her that said, well, what about Sailboat Media? And since then it just kind of stuck. And then I had Alex Embleton. He's been on this show before.
My man.
Hi, Alex.
He's not going to listen to this. I guess we'll see. I'd imagine he would, but anyway.
Alex, if you're listening, just text me as soon as you hear this part. We'll see if he listens. But he came up with the logo for it. So it's if the people who are listening that can't visually see it, go check it out at Sailboat Media on Facebook or Instagram.
You go shout it out. Yeah, plug it in there.
But that's the logo that we have. It's like a sailboat, and it actually came out really nice. So, but that's kind of the story behind what Sailboat Media, or how it came to be. But
gotcha. Okay. Well, just figured I'd ask, and that's kind of neat. Make a. Sorry, now I'm burping because all this pop I just drank, or soda for you freaks. I drank all that. Now I'm gonna be burping all over the place. All right, so because we're talking about the dream, talking about all that. I kind of want to go down this path. I actually got a question. Well, I'll put this fun one in here first. Got another one from Hallie Cole, another fun guest question. Is like, if you had to direct a movie that has already been in theaters, what would it be and why? So,
man, there's a lot.
I know, right?
I would probably want to say like, I would have loved to direct something smaller, The bigger stuff is terrifying, like the Avenger movies. I would not want to direct because it's such a huge property.
Mm.
Because if you mess up, like people are gonna be mad. And same thing with like Star Wars or Disney movies or just those giant properties that has such a strong following.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I like to direct something like Tenant because I just saw that and it's insane to even think of the concept of it. But I always go back to the movie Comet, which is a smaller film about a couple and it just plays around with the timelines of their relationship. And
Yes.
I just really enjoy that movie. I'm in the process of writing a short film kind of similar to it, but not too similar to like, I don't know. Just I like the idea. I like the style of it, and it's just all around a fun movie. But
Gotcha. Okay. So recently, to my understanding, you have not working your 9 to 5 anymore. Correct, right?
That's correct.
All
yeah.
right. What is the dream here?
So the ultimate dream, like the big dream, is to become a movie director, like full time, actually making
Like Hollywood?
I don't know if it'd be Hollywood or like indie movies or anything like that, but I like just to make movies for a living.
Okay.
But I feel like the Hollywood there's so much political stuff involved that it's not quite as what it used to be. So I think I would rather lean towards like the independent stuff, but that's the ultimate dream. But the near future dream is just to be doing media related things full time. So hoping that Sailboat Media can take off enough to basically make a living off of it. Whether that's just doing weddings or stuff just year round, but yeah, that's kind of the dream right now.
Gotcha. So right now, let's say you have all the resources in the world at your disposal. You have all the money, you have the connections, you have it all. And you got this dream movie in your mind, whatever it may be. Do you think you'd be ready to direct that movie?
Like right now?
Yep, had all the every single physical, tangible resource. Unlimited money, unlimited connections. You had everything there. All they need is you to direct it.
Yeah.
Would you think you'd be ready?
Oh yeah.
What makes you think you'd be ready?
I feel probably like most alive when I'm directing stuff.
Okay.
And there is just I feel just like I don't know, I'm like made to do it.
Okay.
I really enjoy it. I really enjoy seeing the actors having fun, for the most part, like in my movies.
Want them to be miserable.
I love seeing my vision come together on screen. I feel like that's just probably just like one of the greatest feelings that I've experienced is just like having an idea and it coming on the screen. It just looks amazing. But I mean, obviously there's like a fear to that because it's, not everyone might not share your same like vision or, but I think that's what's kind of cool about movies is like there's so much uniqueness in all of them. And each person can connect with something like different in a movie. But yeah, I'd say I would definitely be ready to direct a feature. Like if I, it might not be the greatest feature, but I mean, I think, I don't know, I have enough of a passion for it that I could do it.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
So is that the biggest thing going forward? Thinking of, all right, so we got our sailboats here. Gonna set up our sailboats. And then are you going to do like Titanic Productions after that? Or maybe that might not be the best name for it, but Lusitania? No, we're not getting any better. Hindenburg? But from Sailboat, are you planning on maybe using that as a platform going forward? Or I don't know. I'm just instigating here. That's all.
Maybe. it'd be nice to, be able to make enough money to set stuff aside to kind of fund a feature or have enough connections through Sailboat that I can kind of build off of that. But we'll see.
I guess we shall. All right. I was just curious. That's all. I got like a bunch of guest questions here. I guess I saved like a lot of them for about this part because most of them come from one person, but we'll see how that goes. Got one from Michael Hopkins. Boy, Michael. He's been on the show before, and he's asking, do you believe going to school for directing has any benefits or no?
So for the people who don't know, my whole story is I went to Stark State for a year and a half studying media productions, and there hit a point about that year and a half point that I decided that I wanted to drop out and pursue it on my own terms. They were teaching me stuff that I already knew. They were showing me how to use equipment that I already owned. All throughout high school, I worked a part-time job, and I used most of that money to buy equipment. So I was always, I want to say I was a decent, I don't know. It was along as like, as far as equipment goes, I felt that I was a slight step above my age group of people that were also doing video. But I think that like it can have a benefit to going to school for directing. I think if you don't know how to use equipment, it's a great place to learn how to. It's a great place to build connections, but those were two things that I was just simply not doing at Stark State. But I think that it really comes down to the person, the best way they learn. I always learn best by doing, not learning to do. So
Okay.
I just think for me personally, it was not beneficial.
Gotcha. Whatever floats your sailboat, right? Yeah, no, I guess it's whatever's beneficial to each person. School can be a benefit, but yeah, I will say for you, I don't think it was very beneficial. I mean, I think you even mostly went because it was like more of out of an obligation rather than because actually going. So
Yeah.
for you, don't waste your time. But other people, it might actually be a good use of you. I mean, I went to school, so
Yeah.
who would I be to diss on it? So
My advice to anyone who is going or who is thinking about going to college that they don't quite know what they want to do, and if you don't have a scholarship and like if you're not sure about what you want to do, I would take a year off, work in that time. There's a lot of changes between like in that first year from after like out of high school, because life isn't like school, and that's kind of all you know when you're out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not sure what you want to do, I would take a year off. If you do have scholarships, that does change the picture a little bit, because if you take a year off, you're going to lose those. So maybe do the whole, trying to decide a major in that first year. But in my opinion, there's no reason to waste that year of money if you're not sure what you want to do.
Major and undeclared.
Yeah. But yeah, some people can figure it out in that first year, even if they don't have a scholarship. And it also comes down to the person, and just how they learn best. But that's my advice, at least.
Fair enough. Sounds good to me. All right, so I got oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions from Izzy. Is it Lilius? Lilius. I've met her one time. Seems like a great person, great conversation, but she definitely hammered on some of these aren't even questions. One is ooh, you just opened a can of worms. I feel so much pressure to ask solid questions, LOL. And I'm trying to think of a witty question. I'm realizing I'm not witty, and I'm sorry for all these. So I don't know if she thought this was the Chad or whatever. I was like, whatever. So whatever. I'm not getting married to her, so I can throw her under the bus. Fair enough. She's like, oh, I guess I'm not going to the wedding anymore. All right. So first question is, how has your life changed from high school to now?
Ooh, jeez. Just has to ask the deep questions.
Just punch you straight in the gut. Figured I'd save it for the end.
Definitely a lot. A lot of changes.
Would you like to provide a timeline or
I mean,
no?
I'd say the biggest change between like my life in high school versus now, in high school I kind of viewed God as, just something else that like, my parents like I kind of viewed it as just like, oh, this is, something else that's part of life. It's not like I had my life in the middle and I kind of had him floating out around with the same thing of like career or like, like, oh, this is just something I do on Sundays. Like, yeah, I believe in God. But it wasn't ever a personal relationship. But I think that my, over the last few years, it's definitely become more of a, this is like a way of life. This isn't just part of life. This is life.
Okay.
But I've just kind of, I don't know, refound my own like faith and kind of made it my own. I've watched what happens to people that have kind of just stepped away from God, and the type of life that what that is. I mean, there was a time when I did the same thing, and it was, it all seems fun right up front, but it was some of the loneliest times in my life. But I'd say that that's probably the biggest change between my life as a high schooler versus now. There's definitely been, I'm definitely more extroverted now than I was in high school. So I talk to more people. Still an introvert, but I can talk to people, and it's not like, I don't know, as awkward, I guess, as it was
Fair
in high
enough.
school.
Your
But
social skills tend to sharpen over time. You use them
Yeah.
more, so
yeah, and I don't know. I just feel like I have a different view of life than what I had in high school. But yeah, I don't know.
sounds good to me. It's been 5 years since we graduated high school. Isn't that weird to think?
Oh, it's
2020,
insane.
20. We were literally just talking earlier. It's like, wow, like we got out at a good time. So this COVID stuff. Next question from her. She's asking, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So we're 5 years from high school now.
Wow.
I know. I feel like I'm in a job interview. I don't know if you get- I get that in a job interview. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? It's like, I don't even know where I'm going to be in 30 minutes. So, but take a swing at it.
Well, the big change I see in 5 years is I'll be married. Hopefully living in Florida.
What part of Florida?
Orlando area is kind of
Ooh. Disney World?
it's kind of the aim.
Oh, really?
Izzy worked for Disney for
Oh, really?
what was it, last winter for a couple months. She did the Disney college program, and she really enjoyed it. And she would like to work for either Disney or Universal. I think it was preferred more Universal than Disney.
Disney will probably buy him out anyway, so the mouse is watching.
But she really would love to do that full time. And I think that for media, at least, there are so many more opportunities down there as well.
That's fair.
So she did the Disney college program for media down there. So we're in the same field, but so we feel like there's probably more opportunities down there, but in 5 years, I mean, I would hope that I would have like a house maybe. But yeah.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah, maybe a kid on the way. I don't know, but
We'll
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
One thing at a time, I guess.
Yeah. Let's just get through today. Fair enough. All right, last one from her. What is it that you love about movies? Plus, what is it that you love about being a storyteller? 3 question marks.
Ooh. So I always think back to, there's a few videos that I think perfectly sum up like why I love movies. And just like how they're so like important. Because I think I view movies differently than the majority of people.
How so?
I think the majority of people view it as just, this is a piece of entertainment, to kind of like either pass time or just something to enjoy, to turn your brain off. But I think I view movies as a tool to connect with other people. I think that movies and stories have a lot of power, and there's a reason why movies exist, and why stories exist is, there's always this pull to tell something, beyond our own lives, to share an experience or share this made up story that it's so far out of our own reach, but we can show it to other people, and you can dream with them. I always take it back to when I was younger. I really loved the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I've always been mechanical. There's always been a fascination with fixing things, taking things apart, and just working with my hands. And so when I was younger, my dad was working at a printing shop, or printing press shop, and he would bring home all these computer parts and printing pieces, and I'd spend hours in the basement just building shrink rays, time machines, flying machines, whatever you can imagine. And I would just use my imagination, and I think that's partially where my fascination with movies also stem from, because in a movie you can continue to do that, but you can make it a reality on the screen. It's not just all pretend. It's like you can make it happen on the screen. So I think movies are just very important to me, because it's how I feel how people can connect with each other. That's not just the only way, but I do think it is a major part of how people connect, and a major part for society just as a whole. You can change, you can make people laugh, you can make them cry, you can make them change their viewpoint on a certain topic, or bring some awareness to something, or there's really an endless amount of things. You can pull all the emotions out of somebody. You make them scared, or you can make them laugh, and it's such a fun thing to dive into, especially if you really dive into it and you get into all the different corners of movies, and you understand the behind the scenes and what it took to make what you're seeing on the screen. I think it makes you appreciate everything more. But I think that's why I love movies, and why I love storytelling, is just because with stories you can share your life. You can share experiences that other people might not experience, but you can share that with them, and it can change their life and change their perspective on everything. So I don't know.
Sounds good to me. All right. Anything else? No, that's good. That's good. All right. Kind of getting the wrap up here. I got one more question, then we'll kind of start wrapping this up. I've been talking for a little bit. So I got one final guest question from Wyatt Kaiser, my brother. He's asking, when am I getting an invite to your wedding? I answer that as you see fit, but that's just what I saw.
Well, I mean, it's September now as we're filming this, or recording this, I should say. I guess both. But and we are hoping to do our wedding sometime in May 2021. So it's about 8 months away. But we'll see. There's a few factors that still go into place. I mean, it's a mixture of venue and Izzy graduating is college in that time frame, but we'll see if that's so. Hopefully, you'll be getting an invitation probably within like 7 months. I don't know how long people usually send out invitations before their wedding.
I've never been married before, so
I want to say it's probably about a month before, maybe a little less. I don't know, but sometime within that frame. But
I think there's usually like a save the date and then an invite.
yeah, but we'll see.
All right, sounds good to me. Well, thank you, Kyle. It's been a great discussion. To wrap this up, so if you have one final piece of advice for our audience, whether that be from our conversation today or just life in general, what would it be?
I'd probably say never feel that, you're alone in a situation. And, you like never just give up on yourself or the people around you. Because no matter how much you want to, like, there's people that love you and care about you. There's just, I don't know how to word it. There's a God that loves you, that's there for you. I think that, like, I don't know, it's easy to get caught up in life, and just the busyness of it, but I guess never forget that you're created uniquely, and special, and and there's always a plan for your life, I guess. I'd say that's probably the big one, is just there's always a plan, no matter like how much you don't believe there is, like, but yeah, I could go into a lot more detail with that, but it's
if you want to,
no, it's there's always a plan, and there's always someone out there to listen to you. So
I'm sorry, what was that?
But
sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably it.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you, Kyle. It's been a great discussion today. If you have any additional shout-outs to anybody you'd like to shout out today?
Man, I guess since they both mentioned me in their podcasts, I guess shout out to Alex and Michael when we were roommates. I guess because they both mentioned me, but
and some quid pro quo going on here.
Also, shout out to Izzy for being the best fiance ever.
If you didn't shout her out, I'd be like, let them solve that later.
But also shout out to Sailboat Media for being the greatest media company out there.
Greatest, the GOAT.
Yeah, so maybe go follow them on all the social media platforms.
And that is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
Not yet Twitter.
Not yet Twitter.
Just Facebook and Instagram.
All right. And then is there like a YouTube page, a website, anything like that?
There is a YouTube channel, but there is not any videos out yet. So we're working on it.
All right. We'll get some videos out there. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Kyle. It's been a great discussion day. And thank you, our great audience, for listening in on this great discussion day. And, well, like always, have a nice day.